So I got back to my boat last night. I'd been here a whole month and the boat looks fine, but there's definitely some serious chafe going on these lines. I think some of them I want to cut. And I think looks like somebody might have saved me, because that one looks like it chafed through and someone retied it. This one over here, someone put some like wrapped a rope there to protect that. So I should have put my chafe protection on these lines, definitely, if I was gonna leave it that long. But I did have redundant lines tied up, so man, it's this harbor, it seems like it's pretty protected and it'll be like kind of calm, but when the swell gets big, it really gets rocky early, and especially when you got boats tied up to the outside of you. So that's a lesson learned. Other than that, looks like we're all good. So we're gonna sail up towards Västervik and maybe stop on Bornholm Island. And I don't know, maybe a couple of stops on the way too. We'll just see how it goes. I think it's maybe 200 miles to get up to Västervik, maybe a little less. But I think I see someone paragliding up there. So I think I might do one last flight of the paraglider before we go. But this is a different hill I haven't flown on. They said you fly over on this hill in just a certain wind direction. I actually met a bunch of paragliders. I was hitchhiking on my way back from Svalbard, and they were coming down here too. So I just did a grocery run at the automatic grocery. There's nobody attending it. You just kind of go in and scan your stuff and leave. So it looks like there's these firing ranges you need to avoid on certain days. So I'm just confirming we don't go through this one. I think we'll be okay. We just have to kind of go this way and not through there. They sell denatured alcohol in these nice plastic bottles that are super easy to pour. I don't know why they use those annoying metal things in the US. Here's, they get all rusty and spill everywhere. So I just refilled up my alcohol stove. I got the right stuff this time, not fireplace fuel or whatever. Everything ready to go to leave and sail either Bornholm or maybe all the way to Västervik. Also Karlskrona looks like another possible stop. The motor fired up. It took a little bit and it was pretty smoky, but I think it's just because it's been sitting for a month. So we are leaving Kosaberga, and this was a pretty nice little harbor. The only thing was there was I think a seaweed or algae smell that was like, we get really bad sometimes. But other than that, it was pretty nice. The other problem was that it was a little bit surgy in the harbor. But this was a pretty good place to stop, I think. Kind of bouncing around right off the bat here. Wind's a little light at the moment. The windsock up there looks like at least 15 miles an hour. Well, the flags are dead. Maybe we just need to get around the corner to get some wind. So far, pretty wavy on the first trip aboard Pickle Herring this month. I don't think we're going to be making it to Bornholm Island. Maybe on the way back. We just made our way around the Cardinal buoy out here. We had to go south of. So now I was able to bear off, and now we're on a beam reach, which means the wind is hitting us exactly on our side. I adjusted the wind vane to change the course. And the boat's doing 6 knots. We really sped up on this point of sail. So that was crazy. With very little warning, we just had 50 knot squall come through, and basically had the spreaders almost in the water. The coaming was like, this whole half of the cockpit was underwater. I ran forward to pull down the mainsail. What if we got water in here? I mean, the whole cockpit was just flooded. I was at the mast. I'd let the boat kind of round up, and ran towards the mast to lower the mainsail. I didn't have my harness on or anything because it happened so quick. And now it's about 30 knots of wind. So bizarre. I mean, it's kind of just overcast right now. There wasn't any like dark clouds or anything. Even when I got the main, like part way down, most of the way down, I had to come back and get the jib because it was the whole time we were like over 45-degree heel. And that was ridiculous. I'm not exaggerating this at all. Like it was, I had not had any of these squalls out here before, but I guess I'll have to keep an eye out for them. I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of run downwind with maybe put out a little bit of jib. That'll work. Right now we're just lying a hull and we're doing maybe 3 knots. Okay, so I just got a little bit of jib out there. It's kind of hard to see. And gust is coming through. So here comes the rain. Starting to come through pretty good. The waves are gonna start getting real steep in a few minutes. They're already starting to build. Rocking around a lot. I just saw some lightning over here. So we got the hatches. Oh damn, it smells like diesel. We got the hatches closed up. There's a fair amount of water on the floor in here. So yeah, I think that kind of did run down the companionway. Yeah, it looks like it did. Well, I think hopefully this will pass as quick as it came. Just kind of wait it out for a bit. And I think I just lost the internet signal. It'd be cool to like kind of look on the weather radar, see what's going on, but I think I just lost that. It's just dumping crazy amounts of rain down. I want to go out there and adjust the wind vane because we need to point. We're a little higher than I want. It'd be much more comfortable to go down with the waves, but I think I have to wait a few more minutes and see if it settles up before I go out there again because I'm just going to get drenched. The waves are definitely building. It's getting really rolly. It'd be nice if I could get the boat going on a better course. I think if it eases a little more, I'm going to go out there. It looks like the lightning's starting to pass in front of us. The rain's pretty much lightened up now. Wind's died down to about 20 knots. So I'm gonna throw a little bit more jib out and see if I can get us back on course. The waves are also kind of starting to flatten out again, so I can see some lighter skies back behind us where the wind's coming from. Let's see, the darkness is moving over there. So I think we're in the clear. So now the seasickness inducing rolling begins. So I have the main down and we're going downwind. I just put out the whisker pole. I see more lightning coming though. I think it's a good idea though, because that'll kind of stabilize things and stuff if we get in a squall. So we are flying along. We're doing like 6 knots. It feels awesome. The only problem is we're a little bit off course and I need to move the whisker pole to the other side, which it's like the 4th time in the last 2 or 3 hours I've moved it back and forth and it's so wet and dark out there. It's just like kind of a mess. I think I'm just gonna have to live with it being off course until the sun comes back out. As long as it doesn't go too much further, it'll be okay. It's like the boat was listening to me. Just kept going more and more off course, so at 3 a.m. I finally got up and put the switch the pole to the other side. But the good news is I should be able to stay on that side for the rest of the trip until maybe tomorrow afternoon. Day number 2 of this passage. Got some good miles in overnight, and and we should be able to see some islands up here. It's kind of tempting to stop for a few hours and get a little bit more sleep, but I don't think I will because the weather, the wind looks like so perfect to get all the way up to Västervik with the wind behind us, and then like right after we would get there, would die. So if I stop here, then it'll die before I get to where I'm trying to go. So I think we'll just keep sailing, maybe 24 hours more to go. And I should run into cell signal again so I can get another wind update, and maybe I can upload another YouTube video. Here's a look at our tracker. We left Kosa Berga down there, sailed through the night, and now we're outside Karlskrona. Next, I think I'll be going inside between this island and then up to Västervik. And the wind forecast should hold all the way until we get there. Cooking up some potatoes and sausage, and you can also see on the AIS now that we've gone inland, we can see a lot more ships around us, and we're looking at a 5-mile radius. Pretty good lunch. Now I'm going to do a bit of cleanup in the cockpit. These ropes are just kind of a mess, so I got the preventer kind of tangled around everything. That's looking a lot tidier. I'm going to have to throw away. I think this stock line is completely shot. Just, yeah. It's all the way chafed through. But luckily I bought 4 new ones at Biltema the other day, so no worries. Back to, oh shoot, I forgot to turn off the stove. There goes another iPhone cable. We're doing 7 knots right now, which is pretty cool. See if we can hold that up. It'd be great. Looks like we have diesel leaking from somewhere out here onto the floor there. That's unfortunate. And also odd because the diesel tanks are on this side. Well, I guess it's running down there and around. But I do not know why. Maybe the excessive heeling with all this high wind. I just reefed the sail in a little bit more, so we're not heeling as much. So we're sailing by Kalmar now. We're gonna sail right underneath this bridge, and probably sometime tomorrow morning we should get to Västervik, meet up with Sven, see where he's at on his little boat project. I was going to switch to my electric autopilot to weave my way through these channels because the wind's shifting and that steers on a magnetic course, but it's not working. So one more thing to try to troubleshoot when I get to Västervik. Making some spaghetti carbonara. It's pretty good. We made it through night number 2. I just put out the whisker pole. We're going wing on wing. Should get there. The sun just came up, and we should get there around noon, maybe even around 11. We'll see. I can turn my little camera on. Pretty nice sunrise this morning. Close to land. I go through this narrow little cut up here. I think it'll be kind of fun to sail through there. Use this one out too. We kind of lost the wind. Oh, no, it switched to behind us. I think we'll find a way through. Hey, there's our shadow. Cool. just arrived at Samholmessailing Marina. It's one of these grab the buoy type deals. I like these hooks some people have, just like a metal hook. I don't have one of those. I think that would make it easier. I tied up with 2 lines though, just to be safe. Look who's here to meet us. Hey Sven.
Hello Sam, nice to see you again.
So Sven just pulled his famous contacts card and got us an upgrade. We're gonna be right down here, or yes,
It'd be fine.
this will be better, closer to the city.
Yeah,
Side
close
time.
to the service thing.
Really quite nice marina. And it's very nice sailing here. Like
It's called samholmessailing marina. Is it okay?
So boat projects for today. I went to build them out. I got these new lines. This is a sheet from my jib, and the jib sheets were just getting a little bit worn out, and I thought I'd keep on top of it. They had seemed to have pretty reasonable prices on line at Biltema, and I'm sure it's probably not the best, highest quality, but also it didn't look too bad either. So I got a sheet, and the cool thing about this is it has this kind of built-in soft shackle. So maybe since there's not like the knot kind of on here, it will run across the shrouds a little smoother. I don't know, we'll see. And then I also got a main halyard, and this is a high modulus line supposedly, so it should have less stretch than the polyester line I currently have. And you'll notice, I'm sure, if you sail in strong winds, when you put the mainsail up in lighter winds, it's like looking pretty nice, but then as the winds increase, now all of a sudden like the halyards stretch out and your sail has a little bit baggier. So I put higher modulus line in my the Ranger, and that seemed to help a lot. So we'll put this in the pickled herring. And then older boats, they kind of deal with that by having a lot of times like cable wire halyards. But those are, I feel like they're kind of like a little bit annoying sometimes. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I do think they're good because they don't stretch like a polyester line would. But I think like a Dyneema core or whatever it is, ultra high molecular weight polyethylene core, it's like a little bit nicer because you don't have to have a wire splice in there, and it's not quite as loud when it bangs on the mast. I guess the nice thing about wire halyards also is they won't chafe on stuff. Yeah, so let's install this. It should be pretty easy. Well, this is really good luck. Look, the new line is the exact same length as the old line, the old sheet. So we all love soft shackles. You just pull the knot out of the hole. You don't need any tool or anything. I think it's a much better solution than my lark's head. You can see the old knot was cinching down on the sail and kind of deforming things. This will be better, and this should be a nice smooth transition to clear. Well, the whisker pull kind of helps. It makes it doesn't catch on all this stuff here, but then it also sometimes it does catch on the shrouds. So we'll see if that works. But let's just run this line back. So now I sew my new halyard to the old halyard, and I'm gonna wrap it in a little bit of this I think it's like a roofing tape. It's really good stuff too. So really don't want those to come apart. Okay, so then I just pull this halyard up, and hopefully it doesn't come off. So it came all the way through, no problems. And we have a whole lot of extra line, so I'm gonna pull it through and then I'm gonna cut it. Before, this halyard was long enough so I could run it back to the cockpit, but I never used that feature. I just always do everything at the mast, so I don't want to have so much extra halyard. You do want to at least leave, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet extra, so that as it chafes in the same spot around the sheave or a certain point, you can cut like a foot off or a few inches, a couple times a year, just to kind of keep the wear moving in different spots. So I get a lot of people asking about my mirrors over there. I used to have 2, one on each side, but this one, I think it got water in it, and then the water froze and it cracked, or someone threw a rock at it, I don't know. Those mirrors are so when, well, I'm down here, I can see, you know, if there's any boats in front of me, or if I'm laying down in the cockpit, I can just like see if there's any boats in front of me. They're pretty useful. And also, I wanted to also point out, I had 3D printed these little brackets for the mirrors, and here they are. A lot of people have said they wouldn't hold up, and they've held up just fine. They're not in direct sunlight, but they do get a fair amount of light. I mean, they're still pretty strong, actually. I designed them so like the layers coming apart wouldn't affect anything because there's just 2 bolts that clamp around there. So I think 3D printing is pretty viable for boat stuff, for little brackets and things. I've also got some kind of mounting plate kind of things for the arch that were 3D printed, and those are holding up just fine too. And I forget what plastic I use. It's like maybe PET, or it was one of the ones that was kind of supposed to hold up better in sunlight. So today we are going to visit my friend Yrvind's shop. You can see he's got all his pictures and stuff out here. Let's see if he's home. This was his boat with the 2 lug rig sails. Hey!
Oh, Sam.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, nice to see you here again.
Yeah, good to see you. We want to see the progress on the boat.
Okay, go in and I come behind. It's
Look at that.
mess. Right now you see many pieces laying around here and things like with the center board and everything, but that's how it is. You see, it's shoes that I'm working.
Yeah, last time I was here it was just a hole, and now you've got bulkheads in.
Oh, the bulkhead was not here?
I don't think it. Maybe you had the bulkhead, but it didn't have any of the storage or the hatches.
No, it's I think it was.
I think you had plywood mocked up. It was plywood bulkheads before, because I remember I sat in it and you were showing me it. But you can see you've done a lot of work on this.
Doing a clamp with one hand. I know how to do that. So here comes one mast, and it can move back and forth, you know, when out to sea.
Yeah.
It goes out, and that is the same thing on the other side. And here's the center board. Slot for the center board.
You got the slot put in there.
And then
And you switch to the circle hatches I've seen.
and
in your
so I
video.
can have like on the kayak the spray deck. Similar, you know, but when they're transported, you know, so it's closed here. So when they're up here, yeah, and then there was the center.
Oh, let's see the centerboard, yeah.
So here. Now, I don't know what you call it. You call it a groove or a slot or what?
Yeah, a groove or a slot, that's it.
What is the proper name? What you?
I think, yeah, it could be a groove.
A groove.
Yeah.
Okay, I use the groove. People understand that. And that's so it's like a round thing here instead of a pin on this round thing.
Yeah.
So
the centerboard will slide in the screw.
I can put it in here.
Slot.
I don't have to bother with and then it can go back, push back to here, and then where's this little thing? Oh, I see. Just to hold it when the boat's capsizing, you know, it doesn't. It holds down by the gravity now, but I'm just going to secure it, not to a big line here, and then I can hold it up with another one. But here is the deck level, and so no water can come into the boat.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so this is a little bit about this, you know.
Cool.
Show you my invention too, you know.
Oh, yeah. So you've got a new route planned. Before you're gonna.
Yeah, the plan was go to
The anti-nodal point, right?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
But then I had problem, you know. I wanted to stop here in Australia, filling up with water and food, and I needed a visa for that. And then I said, I wrote to the embassy and I said, no, well, you have to phone to Canberra, because Canberra got no email, you know. And I understand that just trying to make it difficult for people to getting there. So I got kind of angry, and also in South Africa, there's a lot of traffic around here, so I didn't really want to get into Cape Town, and stormy too, you know, and crime. And so the plan was starting Azores, you know, and it's about 14,000 miles down direct to here. And it was a bit long because my legs, when I came to the Azores after 78 days, took about a week to
start working.
7 days.
Yeah.
But that would take maybe 130, 140 days all the way down to.
Yeah, it's a long time to be.
And also now with Putin making problem up, I thought, while I go out to the west coast of Chile, southern Chile, here, you know, and here's like on a big map, and I think maybe I start in Ålesund or Island, depending on the trailing. I know if some friends can drive me there, and then I sail down there to the Azores, fill up with food, and here's the southwest trade winds coming up to the equator. So then you have to put yourself on a tack going over to the Brazilian side, down here, and then I go around Cape Horn and up to here, and I can show you on the outside. So I'm coming up here from the Azores towards the equator, out here, but here's the doldrums, and you see here's the equatorial current, and here's the corner of Brazil. So you have, and you see all these red arrows, the southwest trade blows up here. So you can't go like this, you know. You have to go over on this side, and you see the circulation is like this.
Yeah.
You go over here, here, and here, and Dublin Cape Horn is a special thing. It means going 50 degrees south in Atlantic to 50 degrees south in the Pacific. And my plan is to go to Falkland Island, but the Falkland Island is further south than that. So when I leave Stanley, filled with food and fruit and all these things, I sail north about 100 miles, cross this line, go back south, round Cape Horn, and up to here, and then I done that. And I go up to this region here, you know, it's very interesting. Like here's Valdivia, 40, about here. And then I got another map of this area. Like this island here, one is a long one, you see it's like 30 here and 60 is like, at least it's like 100 miles, you know, around here. And here is plenty of islands, and here is not many people living. And this is the island where the potato stock is coming from.
Oh, really?
And they have like primitive life, you know, like when I was born in the 1930s. And we didn't have plastic, and we didn't have pesticides, and we lived like a natural life. And this is what they have down here, you know. Or no, I think so, you know, I haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
And here, or up here, you know, like Bolivia, they call it entre rios, you know, between the rivers, because there's many rivers coming down here.
Oh, cool.
And also here, and or even up here, you know, if you look at the, what is it called, this Google map, you can see even here it's like a little town. I guess not many sailors been here, you know. And here is Portomont, and it's a nice area, it's cruising around. And then now you see what's happening with Putin and the war, and if he blows up all these nukes he has, you know, or something like that. Because 90% of the world population lives north of the equator. And from the north, the wind goes down to the equator, and from the south blows to the equator. And what happens at the equator? It blows right up and turns to the poles again. So this doesn't really mix.
Yeah.
It's about, if you ever heard about Never Shoot and the book called On the Beach,
Okay.
Came out in the 1950s about nuclear war, because already at that time we were worried about nuclear war, you know.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, down to here and down to here, you know, and that's the plan, you know.
Sounds like a good place to be. Thanks for sharing the new plans. And we'll put a link to your YouTube channel in the description. Since we came, you're up to 15,000 subscribers, and he's posted
Now
a
we're
video.
going to try to get up to even more, you know.
Up to 200,000. We'll see which one makes it first. So I visited Sven today, and he gave me this lovely barometer, which that measures the barometric pressure, and it can kind of give you a clue if you're going into lower pressure. It's like it might be stormier weather, or if you're in higher pressure, it might be like no wind at all. You can really kind of glean a lot of information from these and looking at the wind and the clouds and things if you don't have like a forecast like we do today. So I think I'll just mount that right here next to my monitor. Should be a nice place to see. I like that he signed it for me. Let's see. And he is also trying to get me to go to around Cape Horn through the Straits of Magellan. We'll see if we make it down there, but we'll definitely be seeing some lows come through. So I took the bike to Biltema today at the hardware store, and I got more of those deck tiles that I put in the cockpit. I'm putting them on the floor in the cabin, and these because I really didn't like that gray flooring I previously bought. That got all stained and nasty. This way, all the dirt I could just sweep, you know, between the cracks. So that'd be better. And I like this a lot better. It worked out. It's working out so good in the cockpit. I really like that flooring. Thanks for watching, and a big thanks to Sven for showing us his workshop and progress on the boat, and also a huge thanks to the manager here at Samholmessailing Marina for giving us a free spot. I really like the marina. It's really nice facilities, and I think it's one of the nicest marinas I've been to ever. So if you're passing through the east coast of Sweden through Västervik, maybe think about stopping here. In the next video, we'll continue sailing on up to Stockholm. I'll see you guys then.